From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
Thanks so much for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. After weeks of students learning at home to start the school year, some IPS students will head back to the classroom for in-person learning starting tomorrow. Pre-K to third graders are set to return to the classroom full-time starting tomorrow in the first wave as schools reopen. Next week, 4th through 12th graders will join them. 7th through 12th graders will be on a hybrid schedule, along with some 6th graders who follow a middle school schedule and change classrooms. Today, we talk with an IPS parent about getting back to some sense of normalcy during the pandemic.
They're excited to go back and be in the classroom and see their teachers and see their friends, see their acquaintances. I think one of my kids said the other day that they're excited to go back and even see the kids that they don't necessarily get along with. Like they're just excited to go back and see everybody.
IPS will provide one free face mask for all students, which they will be required to wear at school. Remote learning is still an option for students who choose not to return to in-person learning. Coming up tonight at 11 o'clock, we'll explain the only concerns the parent we spoke with has when it comes to in-person learning. The state health department reports 5 more coronavirus deaths. 3,447 Hoosiers have now died. More than 125,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. More than 2.1 million tests have been administered in Indiana. Tonight, President Trump's doctors say his condition is improving with some ups and downs. However, there are mixed messages about the president's health. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest now from Washington.
Tonight, President Trump is said to be doing well at Walter Reed Medical Center after being admitted to the military hospital for COVID-19 on Friday evening. The White House releasing these photos of him working there Saturday.
The president has continued to improve. As with any illness, there are frequent ups and downs over the course.
The president himself addressing the American people from the hospital last night.
I came here, wasn't feeling so well. I feel much better now. You don't know over the next period of a few days. I guess that's the real test.
But there's confusion and many concerns over credibility, with conflicting information being released about the president's condition. Just yesterday, leading physician Dr. Sean Conley appearing to dodge questions over whether the president received any supplemental oxygen. Today, he said this. Over the course of his illness,
the president has experienced 2 episodes of transient drops in his oxygen saturation. I recommended the president we try some supplemental oxygen. Stayed on that for about an hour.
Dr. Conley says that happened Friday, but when asked if the president was also on oxygen Saturday, he couldn't seem to recall.
I'd have to check with the nursing staff.
He was then pressed about his discrepancies.
I was trying to reflect the upbeat attitude that the team, the president, that his course of illness has had, came off. That we were trying to hide something, which wasn't necessarily true.
Dr. Conley says Trump has been taking the experimental drug remdesivir and has not had a fever since Friday morning, but it's still unclear exactly when and how the president was infected.
When you don't have full transparency, when there's cover-ups, contradictory statements, even lying about something as vital to the nation's security as the president's health, the nation is severely endangered.
A growing list of officials and advisors close to the president have contracted the virus. The latest, his personal assistant and body man, Nick Luna, seen here next to Hope Hicks, without a mask, boarding Air Force One, one day before she tested positive. 8 others who attended last Saturday's Rose Garden ceremony for Trump's Supreme Court nominee infected too, including former advisor Kellyanne Conway and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Rena Roy, ABC News, Washington.
Rena, thank you. And tonight, as President Trump continues treatment for COVID-19 at Walter Reed Medical Center, we are learning more about one of the medications he is receiving called Regeneron. Our Rafael Sanchez spoke with a doctor at a local hospital that has patients going through a Regeneron trial right now.
The president, as part of his COVID-19 treatment, received Regeneron. Ascension St. Vincent is the only hospital in Indiana participating in that trial. Is this a viable treatment against COVID-19?
Well, it sure looks like it has the potential to be. As with any trial, we don't have a lot of the data that we always want. But one thing we do know is that it's slowly trickling out of Regeneron. It seems to have some validity. And as you may have noted about 2 days ago, they released a press release showing that when they looked at people that had asymptomatic or mild illness and received their particular antibody, they were able to drop the actual viral load by over 90%. That would correlate well with hopeful recovery that is faster with less symptomatology. Hopefully, as we get a little further into the trial with an interim analysis, we'll be able to get some more concrete information.
Doctor, what is Regeneron? Is it a pill? Is it a shot? Is it a juice? What is it?
So it's actually a monoclonal antibody, which is not really a new science product. I mean, we've been using monoclonal antibodies for a very long time in medicine. This particular product is an antibody which identifies a piece of the virus that is very specific. And it's felt that that piece of the virus is required for that virus to cause problems. So we infuse this particular product over about an hour, and it then hopefully finds the virus, binds to it, and then neutralizes. That's why you hear the term neutralizing antibody.
What is the timeline then for Regeneron? What are we looking at? Are we still weeks, months, or years from this becoming sort of an official treatment?
Yeah, so that's an incredibly important question, and I think we can use a little bit of remdesivir precedent to answer that. I think as we go through trials, we have interim analysis, and Regeneron is no different. If the data looks fantastic, you may have accelerated access, and by that I mean expanded authorization to use it outside of a clinical trial, exactly what happened with remdesivir.
What's your message to the public who's saying we want something as soon as possible?
Boy, I think all of us want something as soon as possible. It's been a pretty long haul. Everybody has to kind of roll with the punches. Everybody handles it a little bit differently. The one thing that I think is essentially unwavering among the medical community and infectious disease doctors specifically is masks matter and distance matters. So at the very least, protect yourself and others by wearing a mask and practice social distancing.
Doctor, thank you for your time, and thank you for joining us here on WRTV.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Raphael, thank you. Ascension St. Vincent, as of this afternoon, now has 15 people enrolled in the trial who are having good outcomes so far. Developing tonight, the future of Regal movie theaters is uncertain after its owner Cineworld announced it's considering a temporary closure of all of its movie theaters in Britain and the U.S. There are at least 6 Regal locations in central Indiana, including 2 in Indianapolis, 1 in Greenwood, Westfield, Noblesville, and Avon. The announcement comes after the postponement of the new James Bond film that left a big hole in theater schedules. No Time to Die was delayed from November until April of 2021 because of the effect of the coronavirus pandemic. Cineworld Group owns 543 Regal theaters across the country. It's been another violent weekend in Indianapolis. 8 people shot with 3 killed early this morning. The deadly triple shooting took place around 3 a.m. at a bar in the 5400 block of Mass Ave. Officers found 3 adult victims suffering gunshot wounds. All 3 were pronounced dead at the scene. We are working to get more information about the victims or possible suspects in this case. We have learned the identity of a Muncie woman killed in a crash on I-65. The crash happened yesterday near Franklin. Investigators say 55-year-old Christine Likens rear-ended a stopped pickup truck near I-65 and State Road 44. The pickup truck then rear-ended another vehicle. 2 passengers in Likens' car were thrown through the windshield. No word on their conditions yet. Drivers and other cars did suffer minor injuries. Now to your forecast. Meteorologist Kyle Mountains is standing by. And Kyle, walking in, the sun is shining, but it's still pretty chilly out there.
Well, that's an improvement because we have had those clouds throughout the day, had a little bit of rain, but most of us did not get much at all. Just a trace in Indianapolis recorded. 700s there in Muncie, kind of the winner here. Lafayette with about 1/3 of an inch of rain. And there you can see the bulk of the rain activity. That's pushing well through Ohio. Just a couple of very light showers or sprinkles left over for northeastern communities here around Peru, also moving through Hartford City and toward the Portland area. We are starting to see a little bit of that sunshine. Some of that clearing is taking place with the temperature very cool at 56 with a west wind at 13 miles per hour. As those skies continue to clear out tonight, we will see those temperatures tank. They will get down into the 30s by tomorrow morning. We do have a frost advisory in effect for areas just north of Indianapolis and to the west as well. We'll detail a quick warm-up coming our way in a few minutes.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Well, today, local families in need are getting assistance with keeping their dogs safe outside. The organization Fido is out helping clients with fencing and also doing fence repairs. The goal of the program is to provide an alternative to chaining dogs up. Fido helps in low-income areas with not just fencing, but they also focus on chained up or neglected dogs and provide food assistance for families. The organization believes that dogs who display aggression or depression on the chain become more playful, relaxed, and approachable once it's removed.
So secure fencing for when the dogs are outside is extremely important. It's a public safety issue. It's a humane issue to help, like I said, keep the dogs contained securely to where they aren't running loose, aren't causing any bites or injuries, attacks on other dogs.
Fido spokeswoman says they have seen an increased need during the COVID-19 pandemic for food and flea medicine, but there is always a high demand for fencing help because of the cost. Right now, she says there is a long waiting list that they are working to address. Coming up, a Broad Ripple-based tech company is getting big business because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and because of that, they are hiring Hoosiers. Technology from a Broad Ripple-based company is exploding in popularity as people continue to rely on virtual communication during the pandemic. GoVideo specializes in personalized video messaging. Instead of typing out an email or text message, you create a quick video to send your recipient. The company has been around for 15 years and has more than 30,000 customers around the world. According to GoVideo's database, video engagement has increased by 40% since March, and in the last 6 months, the company has added 50 colleges and universities to its clientele. Ivy Tech started using the tool in August.
I thought this could be a really great tool for our students. We know that students will watch a video for a couple minutes, more so than they'll read a long email. When we think about retention in higher education especially, having a relationship with students is really what impacts their retention. Giving them a place where they feel like they belong, somebody that they feel like they can connect to. Putting a face with a name a lot of times helps to make a student feel like there's someone who's approachable at the college.
With more business, the video messaging company is adding employees. If GoVideo seems like a good fit to you, just go to hiringhoosiers.com for more information. The Marion County Public Health Department's next flu shot clinic is Wednesday. It goes from 9 to noon at Old Bethel Church on East 21st Street on the far east side of Indianapolis. You do not need an appointment. Masks are required. And a reminder, health experts say getting a flu shot is even more important this year to help avoid the possibility of hospitals getting overwhelmed with flu and COVID patients. Flu shots through the health department are $20. Children younger than 2 years old get vaccinated for free. Medicare and Medicaid are accepted. Kyle.
We did not make it out of the 50s today. We're sitting right now in the middle 50s, 56 so far our high, and that makes it the coolest in about 5 months. Last time we were cooler than this, May 11th, when we didn't have temperatures getting into the 50s. Fortunately, we're going to be going the warming direction, but right now we've got 52 for you in Columbus, 55 in Lafayette. Got the satellite on here as well. You can see where we're getting a little more of that sunshine, especially over the northwestern portion of the state. But those clear skies for tonight also mean that that's where we're going to see some very chilly temperatures. Forecasting a low of 34 in Lafayette and Peru, 36 degrees in Muncie, about 37 in the city, and even Bloomington going to drop down here into the middle 30s. And especially the northwestern half of the state, that's where we could see some more widespread frost. I think really, though, everybody has a chance at some patchy frost going into tomorrow morning. So if you're trying to nurse some of those plants along, make sure you get out there and cover those up pretty quickly here before the sun sets. Here's a look at TrueCast as we go into tomorrow morning. Couple of clouds around, but we are going to see a return of the sunshine here for our Monday. So even that is going to be helping us out and feel a little bit better out there versus the cloudy skies we had today. Temperatures still going to be around 40 degrees at 9 a.m., but then we will see them warming into the lower 60s, still below average but an improvement. High temperature forecasting for you Monday afternoon, 64 in Bloomington. So we're going to see those numbers climb about 30 degrees as we head through the afternoon, 62 in Muncie and 63 in Lafayette. Area of high pressure, that's pretty much going to be centered across central Indiana tomorrow. As we go through the next couple of days, that slides off to the east, actually brings in some of that mild air as we see our winds turning out of the south and southwest, and they may actually be a little breezy at times here as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. And look at what that will do to those high temperatures, getting back actually above average. A high of 72 there on Tuesday, approaching 80 degrees on Wednesday and 70 on Thursday. Fall is a transition season here in central Indiana. You needed to layer up today, but may want to have those shorts handy as we go into the next couple of days. Still some cool mornings. We'll be in the middle 40s there to start off Tuesday before we get into the 70s there for the afternoon. And the 7-day planning forecast shows those highs in the lower 70s to end the week, near 80 heading into next weekend, all with dry weather. It looks like as we get into next week, about Tuesday, we may see our next shot at some rain. Nicole?
All right, Kyle, I like that forecast. Thank you so much. Well, the Greenfield Central Marching Band was the 2019 state champions, but this year they don't have the chance to defend their title. Up next, how they are staying positive despite a disappointing season. All of our lives have been interrupted or delayed because of the pandemic, and that is especially true for students at schools all across central Indiana. The pandemic ended Indiana's high school marching band competition season before it even started. But WRTV's Kelsey Anderson takes us to Hancock County to show us how one group is turning disappointment into a positive experience.
The Greenfield Central Marching Band was the 2019 state champs. Now this year, they don't have a chance to defend their title, but last night they did have the chance to showcase some of their best work.
Definitely different. It's not what any of us were expecting or hoping for. Just like, even though it wasn't really meant to end this way, I'm kind of glad I get some form of an ending.
It's our little piece of normal and all the craziness.
2019 state champions, ready to defend their title this year.
We thought we were going to have a normal season. We had an entirely new show planned out, but then everything got canceled.
The official band season may be canceled, but that doesn't mean the music has to stop. Last night, the band took to the field to take a walk down memory lane and showcase the work they've done over the years.
So we took the end of our 2017 show, which was these seniors' freshman year, and the end of last year's show, and we're doing kind of a little bit of a walk down memory lane, where they started and the state championship show.
Band director Chris Wing says while competing is fun, that's not what being a part of this team is about.
Competing is a piece of what we do, but my job as the band director isn't to win state championships. My job is through music to make these kids better people.
As for the seniors, they're glad that they get a little sense of closure.
Honestly, I'm just glad we get to do something when there's like a whole lot of marching bands that don't have anything going on.
Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
People who drink coffee to wake up first thing in the morning might want to wait until after breakfast. Researchers in the UK found people who drank coffee before breakfast lowered their body's ability to control blood sugar levels by 50%. Authors of the study say the results show coffee can cause one problem by making someone feel awake, but can cause another by impacting the metabolism. They say the results show it is better to wait a few minutes for that first cup of coffee rather than risk the possible health impact of not controlling blood sugar. One business that's booming during the pandemic is the snack industry. Pepsi, Frito-Lay, even Starbucks have seen a rise in demand. A lot of people are munching on Cheetos and Doritos, which are owned by Frito-Lay. Quaker Foods has also seen a 6% rise in breakfast food sales, and many are washing all these snacks down with Gatorade and Mountain Dew. Pepsi says the boost in sales probably comes from people spending more time working and studying from home. NASA wants your help to find new planets. The agency launched a website called Planet Patrol. That's where the public can sort through images collected by NASA's survey satellite called TESS. TESS captures hundreds of thousands of images every year, and it's too many for astronomers to examine. Volunteers will answer questionnaires and look through the images to help researchers narrow down the list of potential planets. That sounds like something you might like to do, Kyle.
It does sound like fun. It sounds like going and finding a needle in a haystack.
I agree.
But if you can say, hey, I discovered a planet today, what'd you do?
Right.
All right. Here's
Here's
a look at the next 7 days. And we do have warmer days ahead of us, also dry days. Lots of sunshine there with highs around 70, even close to 80 there on a couple of occasions.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here tonight at 11 o'clock. Have a great night.